After years in the spotlight, Onision, a YouTuber famous for putting on a banana suit and dancing around, is finally seeing his little empire fall apart. When we talk about that, I mean his reputation is on the line. He already had a not-so-stellar one, but now we have people coming out and talking to Chris Hansen, talking about the details and the sordid things that have happened behind the scenes. And well, you may see court involvement, police involvement, FBI involvement, and on. Also, we're talking about occupation here. His YouTube was already on a downhill trajectory, but it's like somebody hit the fast forward button and said, hey, I'll see you later. Now with that too, he lost his paycheck. We're talking about Patreon. But how bad was that hit? What are we talking about with this? So hey there. So today I want to return to that wonderful world of YouTubers to talk about Onision. And again, if you have not heard of Onision, I would say to go out to look this kind of stuff up, because the story behind it, wow, it is definitely a doozy. Now, I am not taking a pro or con stance just by talking about this either. I'm looking at numbers here. I'm talking about a guy, though, that seems like he could hurt somebody, and I hope to God that he doesn't. He's made some comments recently while going out and filming videos that look like a mental health, mental unwellness on steroids. But again, he says I'm acting. I'm acting while, of course, I'm saying things that should go out and set off alarms for a lot of people. So again, I hope that when people see that, there is something that intercedes. I hope the guy doesn't hurt anyone. Now, before we get into this, two things. If you want to help this channel out, you want to help an umbrella out there, interactions, that's important. We're talking about subs. We're talking about sharing videos, also liking and commenting. If Onision gives you a headache and you need a really stiff drink, if you leave the room, let this thing play and then double back for it. So Onision, here we're talking about this place called Graphitron. Now, Graphitron actually keeps some pretty good records on stuff. You can see exactly where this guy was, and you can see where he was at one time and where he was before everything again got canceled. Now, it was interesting to look at the way everything lined up for him, too, because at one time, Onision made some really good money. I mean, we're talking about over $4,000 a month at one time. He had almost 1,200 patrons, but now things, after time, they start to fall apart. Now, if you look at the green line here, over time, again, you can see it dwindle down. If we go and we zoom in for 6 months here, you can see this earning tick down, and the last recorded earning line that we can see within this was in August. This was 398 patrons, and he had $1,614 at the time. Now that, again, remember that number, 398 patrons, because that's important to consider where he is now. Now, if you look at this, again, this is over 1 year. You'll notice many dips languishing here and there. Again, over time, you'll notice a downhill, but then you notice a bow back up. That went up to November 25th, the day that he removes everything or has everything removed. And he posts a video about it, again, having a breakdown. On that day, he has 563 people. Now, if you're figuring that up, if you're talking about like how much exactly we could be talking about, I mean, we're talking about, again, a much higher number than he was dealing with before. It's, say, 563. If we're talking about just 4, instead of 405, we just call that 4. We'd be talking about $2,252. So, again, he was on an upward trajectory. He started getting notice, and, well, you notice over time, he was picking up momentum. So he could well have actually made a rebound. And if you figure, again, on this level, he could have been making at least $2,200, but maybe much more. See, I looked at his Patreon that day before it was canceled, and he had levels up to $50 tiers. You can talk to Onision. You can see something that is a little risque. And there were at least 2 comments there telling me that at least 2 people were paying $50 a month to see whatever he had with that. Now, it's been interesting, like I said, to look at his rankings over time, too, to see how this stuff actually has gone through. He has adult video rankings. You can see he actually ranked pretty high with that ranking for a while, and he was getting back to higher ratings as well. But something terrible happened for him. interest over time. Now, that interest over time, it could be a good thing. Your channel is actually growing. People actually care about what's happening, or maybe, just maybe, you've gone out, you stepped in something. And yeah, he had been stepping in something. And if you look at the scoring on this up to 100, you can see him sitting here and, well, you'll see little ebbs and flows. Then when you get to certain months, you'll notice this starts climbing, rolls a little down, but it keeps that, and then it's just been off the charts recently. That follows Chris Hansen getting involved in stuff, and a lot of talk coming out about him. While that happens, of course, you can see all of this other stuff basically falling apart too. His Twitter, for example, it looks like it is going right off a cliff. Again, over time, that's pretty much what you're seeing here. He's at 288,000. And when you're talking about his YouTube subscribers, now his channel is pretty much dead. He has 3 channels, but they're pretty much languishing as it is. But still, if you follow this too, you're talking about over time, you see it decline. This is falling apart. Again, this was a guy that was dependent on all of that, but especially on Patreon. Because again, when you have a channel out there, it's that big, you're only pulling tens of thousands of views. You're making short videos, so you're probably making under $30 a video. Yeah, you're not getting anything there. He was dependent on this, and now he has nothing. That makes him frightening in a lot of ways, because again, he has to see that inevitable writing on the wall. There's certain things that he's allegedly been involved in. If they are true, again, everyone deserves due process, but if they are true, he may have violated the Mann Act. There are many, many things out there that could actually get this guy locked up if, again, they're true. So he doesn't have any money to live on. He doesn't have any money to actually be able to defend himself. And he doesn't seem like the type of person that would have actually saved up money, because he was planning ahead. So again, this dire disarray, when people have been talking about it, I think it's much, much worse than people anticipate. Again, you can see where his lifestyle was anyway. He was kind of living meagerly already. Well, now he's living on next to nothing. But anyway, you tell me what you think about this. And you tell me what you think might happen next. Are we going to see some type of altercation with the FBI? We're going to see something going on there. Do you think Onision is mentally well? Do you think it could possibly be dangerous? Let me know. Also, thank you for showing up. Thank you for participating in this. You make endeavors possible. I always end with that. I always record it live saying that because you make these channels work. If you want to help out with our interactions, thank you. If you check our comic out, that's definitely appreciated. But you just spending time here, that actually matters. So thank you, and we'll be doing this again soon. Thanks.